A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Welcome to Padoman. Today we have with us Professor Dr Anis Ahmad. Professor Anis Ahmad is the Dean of the Faculty of Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Human Sciences at the International Islamic University. Professor Anis Ahmad, you were with us last time, and we are fortunate to have you again.
Thank you.
Today we would like to be educated by you on this particular question, that we the Muslims have the love for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now once we have this, how it has to come out in our life?
If we look into the Quran and Hadith, we find that the Quran expects every Muslim to love the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than his own self, more than his parents, more than his children. A hadith says very clearly that you will not have full iman unless you take me more dearer than your own parents and children, and so on and so forth. Which means that love of the Prophet ﷺ is expected from every believer. But what does that mean? Does love mean that once a year, as many people in many cultures send a greeting card to their parents on Father's Day or Mother's Day, we also talk about him and say we love you very much? Does love mean that we repeat verbally whatever we have his statements and act contrary to it? Does love mean that on certain occasions, such as when we visit his masjid in Medina and visit his place of burial in Medina, we offer our salute and salam, and when we come back we think that the story is over? What does it mean? As a matter of fact, the Quran makes it very clear by saying Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasul, that you have to submit unconditionally to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and obey the Prophet ﷺ in whatever commands he is conveying, because whatever he conveyed was fully monitored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Throughout his life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was sending revelation to him, monitoring every single small moment he had. And therefore, it is impossible that he will ask for something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not want. Consequently, when he is asking for certain kind of behavior, then it is fully endorsed by the Quran or by revelation. Now, what is the meaning of love? Love means that when we want to say we love someone, we not only try to please that person, but we try to think further. What will bring us more closer in terms of relationship and alignment? For example, if we love a culture, then we adopt symbols of that culture. We adopt manners of that culture. If someone, for example, is westernized or Islamized, then the ways of expression, language, gestures, signs, everything undergoes a transformation. Similarly, when we say we love the Prophet, then we cannot just claim we love him unless we undergo a systematic, gradual transformation where our likes and dislikes, our taste, our manner, our way of greeting people, our way of being unhappy with people, our ways of entertaining people, our ways of communicating with them, everything comes in line with what the Prophet ﷺ was doing. Therefore, love simply means that we have to develop an attitude. It's a matter of attitude and not a matter of ritual. It's not a matter of doing certain prescribed things at one time and violating them at the other time, but it's a matter of developing in our behavior all those good aspects, all those practical aspects, all those ethical aspects, all those moral aspects which the Prophet ﷺ gave through his behavior. Therefore, the Prophet's love does not mean that we just say a few nice words on some occasions, but it is a matter of following very small things which may look small to us, and important things which are definitely important, such as he behaved extremely kindly with his family. We find that one of his helpers, Anas bin Malik, who lived with him for about 10 years, after his death mentioned, I was with him for 10 years helping him in his household manners, but not for once he used a harsh word with me or said oof to me. You find his wives, Sayyidah Aisha and others, they were treated not like many Muslims behave with their wives, but with extreme honor, respect, love, to the extent that sometimes he will like to please them, to the extent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remind him that do not overdo it. Because he was Prophet and everything he did was going to be monitored, observed carefully, and transferred to coming generations as a practical modality. When he was dealing with some of the persons who had good memories with his wife or with his foster mother who raised him when he was an orphan child, Halima Saadiya or Sayyida Khadija, we find that a friend of Sayyida Khadija came once to visit him. He stood up and offered his own rug for her to sit, not because she was a princely lady, no, because he loved Sayyida Khadija as his wife, and this lady was her friend. When the daughter of his mother who raised, who fed him in early childhood came, he did same thing for her, offering all possible respect and love, which means that love is not a matter of just talking about him, but it's a matter of imitating that kind behavior which the Prophet ﷺ has left with us and which is as living as anything. We may not have seen him, but we have a full record of how he was behaving with others. And once we have that record with all possible details, then it is as if living with him, as if living in the shadow of his presence. And when we have that kind of attitude, I am sure we bring more peace, we bring more understanding, we bring more tolerance, we bring more compassion, not only for those who are normally close to us, but even those who may not have been too close to us, because he was an embodiment of love. He was an embodiment of human understanding, human respect, human dignity. So when we say we love the Prophet, we are expected to follow in his footsteps, not simply by saying, but by sacrificing our personal preferences over what the Prophet ﷺ preferred, desired, commanded, and wanted us to do.
So what you're saying is this is a love with commitment to follow and implement whatever he liked, and therefore our criteria of good and bad, our preferences and our dislikings, all these things we should adopt according to the judgment that he had on them.
Correct. Exactly, that's what it means.
So this then goes to whether we are working as an individual or we are a group or the society at large, in terms of our interaction at every level and our outlook, as you very correctly point out, our attitude. How do we really look at the things and how we perceive them?
You see, this love is not only a matter of how we look on things, but it's a matter of how we relate warmly, passionately, how we feel that whatever the Prophet ﷺ has said is not a matter of just an individual, but it's a matter of ideal, it's a matter of Prophet of Allah. When he is behaving and doing certain things in society, then he is not behaving like a common man, but he is model for the whole of humanity. Therefore, loving him means that we capture that understanding, that we try to imitate him in all those manners, irrespective of where we are, irrespective of what kind of problems we are facing. We need to keep in our view that this is the most lovable personality which human history has ever seen.
Thank you very much for this highly educational explanation. And with this, today our program comes to an end. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.